Hi, my name is Jennifer Woolley. Since we are not in school due to the COVID-19 school closures, I was not able to implement my mini lesson with differentiation. So I thought I would just try to share a little bit about how I would do that mini lesson. So basically, the lesson I had planned was about day three in a unit on the genre biographies. We had already read a little bit from Wilma Unlimited. Students have a background about what biographies are. They also have a little bit of background in practice with a strategy turn and talk. So I thought I would just show you the anchor charts. So students have had practice with that. They know what that looks like and what it sounds like. So that is part of the mini lesson as well. I will do the best I can to kind of share what I would do if I had students there. So basically, the goal of this lesson is for students to be able to build a little bit of capacity for how to understand text evidence and a little bit of accountable talk when they are discussing and sharing about text. So there's an anchor chart here on text evidence and some sentence starters to get them thinking about how to have that dialogue about text and to be able to refer back into the text with different questioning. um, Really, my goal is I want them to be able to be discussing the literature with each other. So these are some prompts that they will have bookmarks for their turn and talk, their think, pair, and share. Also, I'm going to be using accountable talk. They're familiar with this. So at this point, they are not doing any writing. This is more just to kind of scaffold their learning of how we have conversations, that thinking while we're reading. So that is anchor chart, and they also have a smaller version of this in their reader response journal. So my goal for this lesson is to not read the whole story, but just to continue reading a section of this to kind of build that capacity, like I said, for um, using that text evidence to answer questions and kind of dig deeper into that thinking. So this is Wilma Unlimited. So as you can see, I do have some pages tabbed already. So you want to be purposeful in how you approach that questioning and make sure that those questions are targeted to those skills that you are trying to achieve. So basically what I was going to do is continue reading. I don't think I'm going to read the whole story to you, but basically what I would do is after reading this section, I have some questions here that I would present to the students. For instance, this one is, what challenges did Wilma face when she went to the Olympics? So my goal is to be able to show them how to use some of those anchor charts and those sentence starters to go back into the text. So for example, if I were to use these sentence starters, what challenges did she face? I might say, oh, according to the text on this page, this is a challenge that she was faced with. Or on page blank, it said, so once again, I'm modeling for them, okay? So my goal is to be able to stop and say, okay, with your turn and talk partner, I want you to try to use some of these sentence starters to share with your partner what challenges did Wilma face, okay? We would stop. My kids know what to do when I say look forward. Then we'll do a little bit of share out. How were you able to use these to build that conversation? During the lesson, I will continue reading. For example, my next one says, actually, we'll skip to this one. The book said the thundering cheers matched the thundering of her own heart. What does this mean? Okay, so if you think about this, or actually, let me switch to this one. When you think about this, let's say they're having their turn and talk. One partner might say to the other one, "Oh, tell me more about that. Why do you think that that means a certain thing? Can you give me an example so I can understand it better?" Okay, and once again, I really want to reinforce this is not writing right now. That will come later. And that's where that differentiation comes in. Maybe my above level readers, they're ready for that. They're responding in their journals, like I shared in my mini lesson earlier on. Those are the students that I'm going to challenge a little bit more and tie in that writing because they're ready for that. So if you look at this, I like this one. I agree with blank because maybe they're thinking the same thing. And you say, oh, I agree with you too. I think that that's what that phrase from the story means. So through this whole mini lesson, and once again, this is a mini lesson. This is 15 minutes tops. Okay. It's just giving them those tools to be able to do that thinking on their own when they're reading and building that collaboration with discussion. Um, So hopefully that is enough for the assignment. I really wish I was able to do a little bit better reflection with students. Maybe as we move forward, I can looking into Zoom meetings, some virtual meetings where I can have some consent from different students so we can have a pseudo lesson, or I can have an experience with my students. So for right now, that is how I would implement this lesson. I'm looking back at my template too, as far as the differentiation for below level. All the students will have those text evidence bookmarks. So that's where with those below level readers or students with learning disabilities, we would be using those while we're meeting in small group. And I'd be, once again, practicing that skill with them, giving those anchor charts to their support teachers so they can scaffold those strategies as well in their small group. So that is my mini lesson implementation. Please let me know if you need more. I'm more than willing to elaborate on any of the skills that I presented here today. Thank you.